We're going to a fucking Super Bowl, boys. We did it. We did it. We've started with energy. Look, it is 11:30 at night here, and I am absolutely wired. What a game. Like, that was the game, the definition of a game that everyone was waiting for, okay? Like, all season, all we've heard is people crying and moaning and whinging about Jalen Hurts this and Jalen Hurts can't pass and the Eagles' offense is washed. That's the game where they turned it on, when all the chips are down, and it's exactly what I said the other day, okay? That the Philadelphia Eagles, you can criticize them all you want. You can be critical of the play calling of Jalen Hurts. But when it matters, when his back's to the wall and they need to get a good drive, they need to get a conversion, they have to score a touchdown or even win a game, they get it done. And until that doesn't happen, it doesn't matter. And tonight proved once again that this team, that this quarterback is exactly who we thought they were, that they are winners at a proven level, and they have everything in them now to go that one mythical step further, to win a second Super Bowl since 2017. It'll be their second appearance, obviously, in 3 years, but can they go one further and win the lot? Like, I'm just delighted, man. It is such a good. I'm sat here in a Sam Bradford jersey, for crying out loud, just absolutely buzzing. Just what a game that was. I'm going to try and sort this camera out. I'm going to move the Mac down. Give me a sec. I promise this is very, very professional and it's not going to go tits up. There we go. Let's get to some of your comments. I know you boys are all absolutely buzzing. Dan was first in. Latoya with a holla holla. Fly Eagles fly. Toro Prime is in. Marshall Lynch is in. And Sean, we're going to give you the little bit of a John Hightower. There might be some karaoke tonight, the way that the mood is. But what an absolute just perfection of a game that was. I don't know what got into Kellen Moore. Maybe it's the fact he had some head coaching interviews, and unlike Jonathan Gannon, he decided to lock in, put his best foot forward and show what he can do. And if he ends his Eagles tenure with a Super Bowl, I don't think it matters if he goes and coaches the Cowboys. I think he'll always be remembered for that one season in Philadelphia. So hopefully that is the outcome. But just what a game. Duck is in. We're going to New Orleans. Is anyone in the chat actually making the trip to New Orleans? I've already, within the last 30 seconds, floated the idea to the girlfriend of, if they win the Super Bowl parade, maybe an early holiday out to Philadelphia. Maybe it's my time to come out and has to be done. But just what a mood. Like, it's so strange. I got so many vibes early on of that 2017 championship game against the Minnesota Vikings. It just felt something magical about it, and I couldn't put my finger on it. And then I think that first Saquon Barkley play, the very first touch he had on the ball, goes all the way to the house. And you just sat there and you think, they've got it. This is special. And I think I said the same last week, where I was like, it just feels Super Bowl. It feels Super Bowl. It feels that magic is restored, that the feeling is back, that it's been maybe vacant for too many seasons now with this Philadelphia team. But just what a game. Like, I don't even know where you start. I think the only place to start is Jalen Hurts. It is the only logical place to start. And I think that, you know, the long-term viewers of this stream, the regular viewers in this stream, we've sat here, we've reviewed tape together, we've gone over opinions together, and the one takeaway I think we've all, as a group in this stream, unanimously had is that Jalen is very much just being scapegoated a lot of the time in these like criticisms and the wild Twitter takes and the national media discredit for whatever reason, okay? And it's tough to work out. I think because on the surface, you see a struggling offense, you position it to a struggling quarterback, and that kind of makes sense. But when you dig deeper and you realize maybe the play calling is holding him back, maybe there were other factors, maybe it's the blocking. And while he hasn't been perfect, he's not been like prime Patrick Mahomes this season, and then inexplicably the offense is struggling. It has been a case of Hurts just almost playing within himself as opposed to playing out there and being aggressive and trying to force things. He's running, and even we saw that today. There are a few unnecessary sacks he took. There were a few times he threw the ball away where I think maybe he could have looked somewhere different a little bit earlier. But at the same time, he's protecting the ball. Another game with no turnovers. And in terms of a quarterback in this game, in terms of a pocket-present quarterback that is able to just climb the rungs of that ladder, to field off those deep passes, to take the ball himself and make some magic happen on the ground, to keep everyone's morale high, especially with the changes, let's not forget, on that offensive front. That matters a lot in a playoff game when you've already got a center down. When Landon Dickerson then goes down and you end up with Cam Jurgens sliding across, you end up with like another backup in, you have then Tyler Steen coming in. That's a lot of change in a playoff game against a defensive line where, granted, they were missing their cornerstone. That it is what it is. It can't be helped. But it's a big change on the fly for a centre now where we heard earlier in the year about how losing Jason Kelce hurt this offense because the protections that he called are now not there. It's Jalen doing it. There's a big change in the way the communication structure is laid out. To be down 2 linemen and still play the way they did, and for Saquon to get over, 118 yards, for Jalen to do his damage on the ground, for the brotherly shove to just live so rent-free, it sends Frankie Louvu into a complete tailspin, which was just sensational viewing from my perspective. You can't ask so much more. That was the Jalen Hurts that I think we've all come to know and love. That's the guy that I think fans were begging to see more of, someone that could just turn it on. And I think even the throws he missed, I don't think he made a single bad throw. There was nothing he did at all where I was moderately concerned, worried, anxious, like any other adjective or adverb you can find. I think Hurts was just so clinical in that game. And all of this stuff with the injured knee and then the setbacks, it's like, is he going to be okay? You go into a game like that, you perform the way you do, and that builds so much confidence for 2 weeks' time in New Orleans, where they will now face either one of the Kansas City Chiefs or, of course, the Buffalo Bills. So because of that, this stream will be a little bit shorter, maybe around the half-hour mark, because I want to go see who we're playing. I don't know, who do you guys want to see in the Super Bowl? Who are you both looking at to play in 2 weeks' time? My heart says I want to play the Chiefs because of the law, because of what happened in 2022, because I'm sick of the Chiefs winning all the time. And I would love nothing more than the Eagles to end that like semi-dynasty thing they've got going on. Like, it would bring me so much joy. The retribution aspects, like, it would, chef's kiss. I think they're the easier matchup. The other half of me is I want to see the Bills win this game to also end the Chiefs' run and put them out of their misery. And Buffalo are a team that I think have deserved, or been good enough at least, to get to a Super Bowl over the last 5 years, and you have just stumbled out of championship games, never quite got over the line. I would love them to do it, but then I think that does match up well, as Wynn says, with the Eagles. I mean, we saw recently, I think the big thing with Washington was that down the stretch, not necessarily at the start of the year, but I think the opening 6-7 games, they were fine. Especially going into the postseason, Washington really struggled against runs like on the outside. Like anything that was broken off outside or zonal plays and like screens and anything like lateral, they really struggled with. And I think there's a reason why every big Saquon run was just a zone look on the outside or a handoff or an option or something where it's just not straight up the gut. And as much as that was effective, I think Buffalo has a similar issue against the run. Like, they're just not competent. I don't think any defense is competent enough to stop Saquon Barkley against the run. But I think Buffalo have been particularly susceptible to those outside rushes as well. So that would bode well. I don't care who we play. I think a really good comment there from Wynn is, I don't give a fuck who we play, we winning. And I absolutely love that. If it is the Chiefs, we'll be the only team in NFL history to prevent 2 3-peats. Now, that is salivating. That's the sort of stat you want to see on a Sunday night after you clinch your championship. I've not seen the championship hats yet, so I'm going to have to, look, I pulled away from the TV to come and stream with you boys because I know I was meant to stream Wednesday and Friday. Wednesday didn't happen because I thought we were going to have another stream, so I wanted to give that a chance, and then that didn't happen, so we were without any stream. And then Friday, I thought we'll do Saturday for the Flipping the Birds, and then that didn't happen because there was other things. So unfortunately, we didn't have Wednesday and Friday, but the least I can do is drop in on a Sunday and just chill and celebrate and have this sort of bond. I just want to give Isaac a big hug. I want to give you all a big hug, a high five. I want you all down in Center City, just causing, maybe not climbing, the light poles or anything just yet, but just going crazy. A party on Broad Street. Like, let's just go wild with it. And I can't wait to see all of the stuff to come out tomorrow of all the wild fan behavior, because it brings me so much joy, man. And, I think for me, like, this is it. I was saying to my girlfriend, like, it's like her first proper NFL game I think she's watched in full, and it felt odd for me because this is also like my 10th year of doing PSN. It's a decade long that I've now covered the Eagles, so I was already quite sentimental about this year, and I was looking for the dates, and I think it's like just about a month away until the official 10th anniversary of PSN, but like, just that with the magic of a Super Bowl run, and it just didn't feel real, I think, until like the fourth quarter. And the moment that did it for me was Will Shipley's first NFL touchdown, Saquon Barkley storms onto the field and celebrates with him, I genuinely almost cried. Like, there were tears in my eyes watching that. And I couldn't, there was just something like really sweet about that just defined who Saquon Barkley is. Because as great as he is and the accolades that he's picked up, he's still there for someone at his same positional group to recognize that accomplishment, to recognize that magnitude for him, sprint onto the field, like give him a hug, run off with him on the sideline. And I was like, it doesn't matter, I think, to Saquon if he does win MVP. It doesn't matter how many yards he gets, if he breaks the all-time rushing record, which I think he only needs 30 more now, which should be a given. So we're already talking about the best run in NFL history, including the playoffs and the Super Bowl. The best single season ever, which is absolutely insane. And I think he cares so much more about the guys around him and winning and the Super Bowl and the culture. And it spoke to me in that moment. Like, you hear it a lot, and you hear a lot of players say, "Oh, I don't care about winning," or like, I don't care about money. I just care about the team. Don't care about individual stuff. I just want a Super Bowl." And then you see stuff like that, and it just really, really speaks volumes. And I'm just happy for them both. I'm happy for Will Shipley. I'm happy for Saquon. I'm happy for the Eagles. I'm happy for Jalen more than anything. I think Jalen deserves to really silence the doubters and prove just who he is, because the kid just is. A born winner, and I just want him to go all the way. It's got to a point where I want the team to go all the way for them. Like, I think the first Super Bowl was selfishly like, I want them to win a Super Bowl. Like, I need to see an Eagles Super Bowl win. Like, it will be the best thing ever. And now we've got one. There's a part of me, I want them to do it. I want Jalen to get retribution. I want Sirianni to shut people up. I want to see Saquon get his Super Bowl ring after being, the Bugatti in the garage in New York. I want to see Quinyon Mitchell. I want to see Cooper DeJean. I want to see Jalen Carter. I want the win for the players that have made up this euphoric team, for a defense that is now best in the league. We're talking about one of the most dominant defensive lines in the NFL. And that's without the guy they paid millions and millions of money to see. It is without potentially a guy next year, like obviously Brandon Graham could have been a key part of that, got injured. You look at the linebacker of Zach Bourne. I want him to win it for Zach Bourne and the all-pro season he's had, despite being viewed as nothing but a special teamer in New Orleans. I want to see a win for the guys like Cam Jurgens, the guys like Landon Dickerson, Jordan Mailata, Lane Johnson, all of those guys. Darius Slayer could take or leave, but I think it'd be nice to see him get one. Like, he deserves it for his career. He's achieved everything else but that. I would love that. I think just across the board, Devontae Smith, like AJ, there is not a single player on this team. I just want their glory. I want to see them do it and just cry in happiness for them. And I've never had that with a team before. Like, selfishly, my soccer team is Charlton Athletic. When we went up and we got promoted, I obviously bawled my eyes out. When the Eagles won a Super Bowl, same thing. I've never looked at a sporting event as big as this and gone, I just want to see them win it for them. Like, I want to see their reaction. I want to just that achievement for them. And it's a weird feeling. And I've never had, I hope I'm not the only one in saying this, but it's just a bizarre feeling. So hopefully I'm not the only one just wanting to see guys like Will Shipley lift a Lombardi trophy, 15-1 since I shaved my head. Let's not forget that, Isaac. Look, I had a fresh buzz cut for this playoff run, and I've conceded my hairline as a result. Sirianni gave up on the buzz cut. I stuck with it. My hairline is now so far in the trenches, that's not pretty. It is literally bigger than a football, I think, at this point. But game's the game. If it gets us to a Super Bowl, it is the best haircut I've ever had in my life. Eagles got 17 for us. Get this one for them. That is the best way of putting it. The 100% best way of putting it, my friend. Magic, just poetry, cinema. I just want all of those guys after 2022 to get it for them. I can't explain it. It's just the weirdest thing. It is the strangest thing. The thing about it is Barkley's never seen anything like this in his career. And it's an utter travesty that that's the case. But it's such a beautiful thing that it's happening now in Philadelphia. Did you miss the shoe? You didn't. I need to find an old shoe and a beard, to be honest. Maybe I'll tell you, how many likes are we on this stream? Maybe I'll bring one out at the end. We'll end with a shoey. I just need to see how many. We'll set a target. For some reason, my Chrome is being really weird and not letting me search. So if someone could let me know in the meantime. There we go, YouTube. Right, bear with me. There will be a celebratory shoey. I think there kind of has to be. It's not letting me log in or anything. Where's my channel? I don't even know what my YouTube channel is. It's going great, this, isn't it? Well, we 17 likes. I'll tell you what, 25 likes Shoey at the end of the stream. Celebratory Shoey at the end of the stream. I'll run down, I'll get a beer, we'll come back. And in honor of the Eagles, in honor of making a Super Bowl, Shoey. I don't think I've got a shoe. I'm going to need to... Oh, I do. I don't want to do it out with Jordan again. No, I've ruined too many Jordans in the pandemic doing that. That hairline's looking like Vic Fangio's show defense. Now, normally I'll be offended. Given how well they played today, might be the greatest compliment I think anyone's ever paid me. In fact, I think that's borderline flirting, Tom, if I'm honest with you. I mean, where else do we even talk about this team and this game today? Like, it's just staggering. I think Jalen Carter played brilliantly. I think Cooper DeJean had a brilliant game. Like, that doesn't get spoken. It's not going to get spoken about enough. But Cooper DeJean, rookie under that spotlight, consistently in mismatches to a point, I guess, and like maybe someone Zach Ertz, balled out, really balled out. Zach Bourne has played at a level this game that I think represents his entire year. I would say that was a breakout and it was amazing. Unfortunately for him, that has just become the standard, and that is just an average day at the office. The icing on the cake there, as Duck says, Quinyon Mitchell's second interception. What a place to do it. What a time to do it. It's just great. This is just a team of vibes. It is so 2017 like core of just the vibes of this team feel different now. And I don't know what happened in that bye week. I don't know what they got put in their protein shakes, but they have just come out absolutely blazing. Nolan Smith, as Tom says there, maybe that's Nolan's cousin, is Tom. Another crucial postseason sack. Nolan Smith's breakout has been brilliant to watch as well. Like, I'm so happy for Nolan. I'm going to do, at some point in the offseason, a documentary on Nolan Smith. Like, I want to do a 40-minute video on Nolan's, like, 2023, like, maybe the setbacks or the struggles, or, like, mainly the developments between last year and this season, and just in terms of technique, in terms of confidence, in terms of really taking advantage of the opportunity. It's great. And there are a couple of players like that I want to... Saquon's obviously getting one. I want to do a big 45-hour-long minute video just gushing over Saquon Barkley, because he deserves all the praise in the world just for being Saquon Barkley, really, if nothing else. But I don't think there's a single bad thing to say about this game. I don't think... And maybe the offensive line occasionally, but I think given the fact that they were rocking with two starters down, so that's pretty good. Like, that's expected, you know? Like, when you've got Frankie Luvu causing that much chaos, is controversially dirty as he can be at times, I think you kind of have to just take the good with the bad there. Kenny Gainwell had a little impact. Saquon for Prez, Liam for King. You're my king, Sean. You always will be. I love you. I hope you're well, my friend. Go Birds. A merry go Birds to you. Did I see Harris come down to comfort his team? Never see him show for a Sixers game. I guess Washington brings him more money. To be fair, not bad. Absolute not bad. Not a fan. Blowout victory. It was so... At what point in that game did you know it was over? That's the other question, because there was a brief spell. And I'll tell you what, this was an interesting stat that I'm not sure if they had it in America or not, because obviously being in England, we have a separate broadcast because the NFL is actually moderately popular now, which is pretty cool. One of the stats they said on that broadcast was that essentially each turnover that Washington committed, the next drive was a touchdown. And I don't think anything would speak to just how important that is in terms of game flow. Because at halftime, the stats, like in terms of the rushing, in terms of the passing, in terms of like the time of possession, all of them were nearly identical. And the only thing that was different was the turnover early on and the fact that the Eagles had more points. And when you have close games like that, when the spread is very similar, errors cost you. And everyone likes to, again, criticize Jalen Hurts for being too protective, taking too many sacks, not airing the ball out. And when you look at what he did today, protect the ball, don't worry about it, and then we're going to go and score the next drive. And when the Eagles are able to punch the ball out on a fumble of Austin Eckler, just roaring. Oren Burks, right? Can we just get an apology tour here for Oren Burks? I wasn't familiar with your game, Mr. Oren. I thought you were a former 49er who couldn't get it done. You were a bit shit, mainly a special teamer, but when you did play, absolutely awful for San Francisco, like a real liability. Thought you were going to be a depth signing, and in back-to-back weeks now, you have made euphoric plays. Euphoric plays. A forced fumble in a key situation, which allowed the Eagles to go down, really put their stamp on the game. And of course, last week, the opening possession, the opening kickoff, Oren Burks involved in that special teams play to force the fumble, to get possession. So it might have even been the Packers, I beg your pardon. But what can you do? There's two plays in 3 weeks where Oren Burks has been involved and made a game-changing play. He's not going to get the love that Zach Bourne does, admittedly. All right, the guy's not an all-pro. He's not a starting NFL linebacker. But he did just make 2 huge plays. And I want to make sure we give him some love, because I'm sure in the midst of the Saquon Barkley dominance, of the Jalen Hurts resurgence, little old Oren Burks might get forgotten about. Not on this channel. Not here. Not with you boys. All right? Together, we stand Oren Burks, and we say well done on being a catalyst in that win, because I think he did play a big role. Drew is in. Lovely to see you, Drew. Absolutely love it. Now, what should I be doing out here in Germany? I have to catch a flight. Get some beer. Just get some beer. That's what I was saying. That's my only mission. Just need to complete the mission. We're 1 game away, boys. We are 1 game away. Love that Kellen Moore finally opened up the playbook, more those Dallas touch passes. Yeah, there was a lot more motion. There was a lot more stuff. You had like Dallas Goedert coming in on like jet sweeps. There was a lot more motion behind the line of scrimmage. It opened things up. And especially in a game where they're trying to stop Saquon Barkley, where they're trying to really limit things, I think just the extra motion, the extra man running around really opened things up. It was like, I don't know, like I said, a couple of head coaching interviews, and I think he's really sort of locked in, for lack of a better term. Excuse me. I'm running out of it. I am just yapping at the speed of sound. And if any of this is coherent, thank God. I don't think it is, because I need to just relax and have a drink. And well, there'll be a shoey in a minute, so that's fine. Vic Fangio is a negative. Here's when we up. Big defense is bad and too soft. I don't know. I don't know. I think Vic Fangio's defense has been great. I mean, it's number 1 in the league for a reason. I think they have done nothing but prove people wrong all year. Now, there are times I think they leave too much space over the middle. I think Zach Ertz got way too close to his Philadelphia self in that matchup. I think he was left way too open. I think it was Blankenship was matched on him a lot of the time, and it was just constantly easy yards underneath. McLaurin's one, obviously, the touchdown was over the middle, just easy yards after the catch for him. I think that's been a recurring theme, especially on blitzes. And when you've got someone like Jaden Daniels, you're going to have to send a blitz. That worries me if you have Josh Allen. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is a concern, but he's a concern regardless. Like Josh Allen, that is definitely a concern for. So fingers crossed that doesn't haunt them. But I also think personnel-wise, they just can match up so well with anyone. And someone like Cooper, we said it in this stream weeks and weeks and weeks ago when Cooper DeJean first made his debut on this team. We all said the fact that he can blitz a quarterback, the fact that he can be a hybrid player, can play multiple roles, he can play in the slot, he can play at the back, he can be like a hanging safety, he can rush the passer. He doesn't have to do it all, but the fact he's there will open things up for the rest of this defense. And I think it showed again today, because they don't need to bring 6 men to get pressure. You can bring 5, you can float DeJean, you're going to get the same looks. And I think just that alone has opened things up for guys like Nolan Smith on a defensive line without Bryce Huff, without Brandon Graham. Like, this is a depleted unit, and they are playing some of the best football that group has all year long, which is amazing to see. Although agreed, he does need to work on the tackling. But Kellen Moore was feeling himself in the second. Yeah, it was like he hit a point where he was just like, all right, let me just show Dallas what they're missing, because they hired. Is it Schottenheimer they've hired, or was that someone else? I feel that was someone else, but Dallas has hired someone. So he's just seen it and gone, yeah, all right, let me dial this. Let me show him what they're missing. He's gone on a revenge night out after a breakup. Is what he's done, and just tried to bang a supermodel. And I have to respect it. I think he's done a sensational job this evening. That might be the best Kellen Moore game I think I've ever seen, at least. We'll see where I was like. We're at 26 likes, so the shimmy is definitely happening. I said I would do it around the 30-minute mark. So the stream's only be a little one, just because I want to go watch the Beefs. I want to go watch the Beefs game between the Bills and the Chiefs. I'm sure you guys want to go and celebrate with your families and your friends and call your fellow Eagles fans. And Chiefs are up 7-0. Yeah, I need to go watch that game. I need to, mainly for work. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, I want to make sure you guys get to enjoy your night as much as I appreciate you all hanging out with me. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go get a beer. I'm going to go and get an old shoe. And we're going to celebrate the birds the only way we know how on this stream, with a good old-fashioned shoey. So I'll be about a couple minutes. So I'm going to play the intro again. Hopefully I'm back by the time it ends. If not, I apologize. But bear with me. Right, I've tried to find the most beat up shoe that I could, or one that I'm just not going to wear, because I made a real habit of doing these horrible shoeies, and I did it with Jordans in COVID, and it was a very, very bad mistake. Full pint of San Miguel for the boys. All right. I'm knackered. I need to start working out. I'm absolutely knackered. So close I can taste it. I've missed all those lockdown days. I know, me too. This all getting old does to you, man. It's not good. So this is one for the ages. One for everyone. One for the birds. All right. Now look, as we say, back in lockdown. Oh, let me catch my breath. I really need to start it in the gym, because this is not. I could not keep up with Saquon Barkley if he was walking, let alone jogging, let alone running. So boys, it has been a pleasure. And the one thing we do on this stream, as we've done in the past, when it was iRacing, I do need a Shoey shoe, Duck, you're right. But whenever the Eagles do something good, it demands a Shoey. I don't know where this tradition started, but it's tradition. And I can't be there in Philadelphia because I'm 5,000 miles away, just enjoying all the chaos from afar. But what I can do is do a Shoey for you. This is for every Eagles fan that has been through the lows of the Chip Kelly era, through the highs of 2017, the wobbles in between, and the resurgence in 2024. This is for Saquon, for Jalen, for Sirianni, for the Buzz Cut boys who shave their head to will this Eagles team on. This is for you, Philadelphia. A brotherly Shoey, and we're going to get it. Oh, this is gross already. It's getting. Ugh. Cheers. For the birds. There's still a bit left, but that wasn't as pretty as I thought. Go birds. Go birds. Go birds. Super. We are 2 weeks away from a Super Bowl. And I hope Stu has just came in and seen the Shoey. Otherwise, he just missed tremendous content. Stu, go birds, my friend. Go. I just want to hug all of you, man. I love you. You guys are like family to me. Like, I've had half a pint out of a shoe, and I'm already, getting a bit soppy. But you guys are like family to me. And this team has been a decade of covering this team has been a decade of my life. Literally a third of my life has been covering the Eagles, and the most rewarding part of all of it is the connections. And I know sometimes I think I've let you guys down with little things like the YouTube obviously had to take a backseat for a while. The Discord server, I couldn't get in a lot, and it's annoying. But I think through all of it, you've seen me grow up, and we've watched the birds grow up into Super Bowl contenders, to Super Bowl winners. Here we are again. And just knowing that the same names through all, guys like Shoe. This is not going. I can't do soppy speeches after a Shoey. But guys like Stu, guys like Duck, guys like Isaac, guys like Win, who have been here, oh God, for so long. It just means everything, man. I want the birds to win for you. I want you to get one as well. And it just means the world. I'm so happy that after all these years, you guys still give me your time. You still lend me your ears. You still care what me and everyone at PSN has to say. And it doesn't get lost on me at all. So just thank you so much for everything over the last few years. And I really hope the birds can go on and win. I hope we can get on a stream on Super Bowl Sunday and just scream and shout and throw our arms in the air and do Shoey after Shoey after Shoey and just celebrate, man. But if they don't, it's already been a hell of a ride. And I just wanted you guys to all know that I love you to bits. I wouldn't be here without you because this channel wouldn't exist. And I'm just so happy that we've got our little corner of the internet where we can talk birds. So to Kim, to Stu, to They Can't Stop Me, to Isaac, to Tom, to Duck, to Stu, I've just said Stu, he gets 2 mentions. He bought a PSN mug. He's allowed as many mentions as he wants. To everyone else in this stream, to Tom, who was in the Twitch streams, to just everyone that's been on this channel, just a very merry go birds, all right? I love you. I love the Eagles. We're going to a fucking Super Bowl again, and I can't wait. These 2 weeks are going to feel like waiting for Christmas, and I can't wait, man. So look, enjoy the rest of the Chiefs and the Bills. Go and hug your family, hug your friends, call your Birds fans, call your Commanders fans, call the Giants fans, and let them know what they fumbled. I'll see you tomorrow night where we stream again and we talk about this game in a bit of a calmer manner and dissect everything and the post-game shenanigans. But for now, I'll love you and leave you. Go Birds. Take care. I'll see you soon.